Okay, Carl, I'm taking a look at your Calculate My Grade program you turned in here. I kind of wanted to make a little video here to help you out with a couple things. Some things you have going here are going along the right track, and then you just got off by a little bit here. So if if you're struggling with any of these, don't be afraid to get in the one-on-one support forum and even just upload. You can upload your program in there, attach it to a post in the one-on-one support forum, and I can look at it, give you, if it's something simple, I can just give some comments back to you. If it's something more complex, I can make a little video like this for you to help you. I feel for you that you struggle with all the tech issues that were working against you earlier, and you've really done a good job with what you could over the time you had. So it's just, I'd like to really help you get caught up by the end of the semester and get a good semester grade for this class, because I feel like you're smart enough to get a good grade on it, and it's just kind of been a bunch of things working against you. So make sure you get my help on some things if they're going tough here. Totally agree, with you creating these as doubles. If you want to let the person have half points, so there's going to be a decimal portion. Answer does have to be double because we're going to be doing some division there, and our grading scale has decimal portions to it. So we're going to say set variables here. Here again, that algorithm that I sent you hopefully will help you work your way through these as you go. It doesn't help with everything, but helps a little bit. And I agree here that you're getting input from the user here. That's good. The one thing the user doesn't tell you is the answer, if that's what we're getting as their percentage, right? So they tell us how many points a test is worth, how many points they got for a score, but then we're going to figure out the answer. So that's not something we get from them, but you did right here. So this is where we're going to start performing calculations. And so you're taking their score, dividing by the test points, taking time 100. That's good. We'll get the answer we need here. When it comes to label, we can't. Now the next step, part of our if-thens are part of our calculations in this too, right? So we can't display the answer until we've performed all of our calculations. So right here where you're saying, okay, well I guess if you're going to put the percentage, oh I got it, so you're putting the percentage into one label on here, right? Oh, okay, and then label message. So that's fine. That's fine. You figured out their percentage. We can put it into the label right then. My apologies. So now at this point, we don't need to recalculate DBL answer, right? We've already calculated up here, so the variable's holding that information. So what we can just say, this would be perfectly fine here. If DBL answer is greater than 63.4, you passed, else you should have studied a bit more, right? So that would be, if you had, this is just missing an end if in here. So this would work perfectly fine for the first, for versions 1 and 2, okay? Now once we got after that, I'm just going to comment this out so it's not being taken into account anymore. It's still in there. After that, we're supposed to make a nested if-then-else-if structure to check each grade, right? So here again, we don't have to recalculate DBL answer. We just use the variable. So I don't know. I think you got two kind of things a little mixed up here. Label objects have like a text property. Variables, which DBL answer is a variable, just stores some information. So we're just looking at that. Okay? And actually, if we have greater than 63.4, right, then they got a D, right? Else if, and what we would do here is DBL answer, so we're just looking at the variable. It's already been calculated up above. If it's greater than, and I guess the grade, I think the grade scale, it was 73.4 or whatever, right? Or 73, yeah. 74, I think, is the next one, right? You could look at the grade scale that's posted in the class. But see what I'm doing here? We're just looking at each of these. We check the variable against the next level. So if we wanted to worry about F in this one too, we could have one that said less than 63.4, then the message would be you got an F, right? So I'll just copy this once, paste it in here, and this one would be an F, right? We're going to have another else if in here that is DBL answer greater than 63.4, right? That's when they got a D, right? See how we're just building these else ifs, and I don't have to worry about here. You say, well, if I got a 75, that's greater than 63.4. You're right. So really, one thing to note here is we do have to worry about our order to this if then else if, and we would have to probably work our way down would be the best way to do this, right? And so really what should count, we could do the first one, less than 63.4 can be an F, but the next one we'd probably want to say if we're greater than 91.5 or 91.4 or 91.5 rounds up, then we got an A, right? That way we could get into there. 83.4, we're getting a B, right? So because if this one's true, it doesn't even check the rest of them. So that's where working my way, making sure less than 63 is okay to have that first. That's not going to interfere with anything getting an F. But the other ones, I have to have, if I put greater than 83.4 first, and this equated to true, I would never be able to get to an A if I put in, say, a 95, because it would become true first. Once one of these is true, it doesn't look at any of the rest of them. Right? So we would just have else ifs going in here for all the different ranges. You already performed your step of calculating, so we wouldn't have any of those. As in, I'm not going to make you watch me fix all the ranges here. I think you get the idea by now, but we would just have an else if for each of these, working our way down, comparing the variable to the range that I want here, right? So you really were pretty close on this. Like I said, I think you got messed up a little bit between a variable and objects. So objects, we use the me because that's the objects on the form. We look at the properties of those objects. Variables are just holding some information for you here. And then the if then else if structure would look something like this. I didn't finish organizing all the letter grades, but one thing you have to watch when you're doing an if then else if statement is that you put them in the right order so that one thing being true won't interfere with another logic statement being true. Hopefully that helps and makes sense a little bit. If you have more questions about it, send them back to me in the one-on-one support forum. Like I said, I'd be happy to do this more often for you to help you get caught up and get a good grade for the end of the semester like you deserve. Okay? Get back to me if you have questions.